Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. The human factor. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Lunar Base Alpha, watching Earth's blue marble suspended in the void. After 15 years in xenoarchaeology, she never imagined her expertise would lead to this moment. The discovery that changed everything had been buried deep within Mars Valles Marineris, ancient artifacts that proved humanity wasn't alone. The door hummed open behind her. Dr. Chen, Director Matthew's voice carried an unusual edge. "They're here." Sarah turned, smoothing her regulation uniform. The first official diplomatic contact with an alien civilization, and somehow she'd become humanity's representative. All because she'd been the one to decode their language from the Martian ruins. The diplomatic chamber was austere, a circular room with a single table. As Sarah entered, the air shimmered like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Three beings materialized, their forms crystalline and fluid simultaneously. The Axioms, as they called themselves. "Greetings, Scholar Chen," the central figure spoke, its voice resonating directly in her mind. "We have watched your species progress with great interest." Sarah maintained her composure, though her heart raced. "Welcome to Earth's moon. We're honored by your presence." "The honor," the Axiom responded, "is mutual. Your discovery of our message showed remarkable insight. It is why we have chosen you specifically for what comes next." The other two Axioms moved forward, their crystalline forms refracting light in hypnotic patterns. "Humanity stands at a crossroads," the left one stated. "Great challenges approach. We offer partnership, but not in the way you might expect." Sarah felt a slight pressure in her mind, not invasive, but present. What kind of partnership? The right axiom shifted, its form becoming more humanoid. "We seek to understand humanity through direct experience. One of us will bond with you, sharing consciousness, knowledge, and capabilities. You will be the first of what we hope will be many such partnerships." "Bond?" Sarah's scientific curiosity warred with caution. "You mean some form of neural link?" "More intimate," the central axiom explained. "A true merger of minds and beings, while maintaining individual identity. Through you, we learn of humanity. Through us, you gain access to knowledge spanning millions of years." Director Matthews stepped forward. "Dr. Chen is our foremost expert, but this sounds dangerous. We need assurances." "The choice must be hers," the Axioms spoke in unison. "But know that we have prepared for this moment for millennia. The artifacts you found were more than messages, they were tests. Humanity proved itself ready by how it approached their discovery. Not with fear or greed, but with curiosity and wisdom." Sarah studied the beings before her. Everything she'd learned from the artifacts suggested the Axioms were truthful. Their technology, their philosophy, all pointed to a species that had evolved beyond deception. "Still, if I agree," she said carefully, "what exactly would this partnership entail?" The right axiom flowed forward. "I would be your partner. My consciousness would merge with yours, but not overwhelm it. Think of it as gaining a second perspective, additional senses, and capabilities beyond current human limits. But you would remain yourself, Dr. Chen. That is crucial." "And the purpose?" "To prepare," all three answered. "What approaches requires both our species working in true harmony. The universe is vast, but not empty. Not all who dwell in it are benevolent." Sarah took a deep breath. Years of studying alien artifacts had taught her to trust her instincts. Right now, those instincts were screaming that this was right, despite the risks. "I accept," she said firmly. The right axiom moved closer, its crystalline form shifting to mirror her own shape. "Then let us begin. I am Valen, and together we will bridge two species." The merger was unlike anything Sarah could have imagined. It felt like diving into an ocean of knowledge, while remaining perfectly dry. Valen's consciousness settled alongside her own, distinct but connected. New senses bloomed, she could perceive energy fields, see wavelengths beyond human norm, feel the subtle vibrations of spacetime itself. Remarkable, she whispered, but the word came out in both English and the musical language of the axioms. The integration is successful, Valen's thoughts merged with hers. How do you feel, Sarah Chen? Like I've been blind my whole life and can suddenly see. She turned to Director Matthews, noting how she could now perceive the electrical impulses of his nervous system. It's extraordinary. This is only the beginning, Valen communicated. There is much to learn, and not much time. The others approach. Others? Matthews asked sharply. Through their shared consciousness, Sarah accessed Valen's knowledge. Her eyes widened. The swarm, she said. A species that consumes entire civilizations. They've detected Earth's technological advancement. Yes, the remaining axioms confirmed. This is why we sought partnership. Alone, neither of our species could hope to resist. Together, combining human adaptability with our technology and knowledge, there is a chance. Sarah felt Valen's memories of previous encounters with the swarm, devastating losses, entire species and civilizations erased. But also hope, born from studying humanity's unique ability to innovate and overcome impossible odds. How long do we have? She asked, already knowing the answer through the bond. 5 years, Valen responded. We must prepare other partnerships. Humanity's greatest minds paired with our knowledge. Only then will we have a chance. Sarah straightened, feeling Valen's strength flowing through her. Then we should begin immediately. Director Matthews, we'll need a list of potential candidates. Scientists, strategists, engineers, people who can handle this kind of partnership. Matthews nodded slowly. I'll make the calls. But Dr. Chen, are you sure about this? Sarah smiled, her eyes now shimmering with an inner light. More sure than I've ever been about anything. This is what all my research was leading to, not just understanding alien civilizations, but becoming part of something greater. Through their bond, Valen shared her confidence. Together, they turned to face Earth through the observation window. The planet looked different now through their enhanced perception, more fragile, but also more precious. We have much work to do, Sarah/Valen said. And humanity's greatest challenge and opportunity lies ahead. As the other axioms began discussing logistics with Matthews, Sarah felt Valen's consciousness exploring her memories, just as she explored theirs. This was more than first contact, more than a simple alliance. It was evolution, adaptation, and transformation all at once. The real question was, would it be enough to save humanity from what was coming? It will be, Valen assured her. Because for the first time in our long history, we truly believe we've found the perfect partners. Humanity's greatest strength isn't your technology or your intelligence. It's your ability to face impossible odds and find a way to overcome them. Together, we will do what neither of us could do alone. Sarah nodded, already beginning to understand the depths of knowledge now available to her. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity's next great adventure was just beginning. And she would help lead the way. Testing boundaries. The first test of Sarah and Valen's partnership came sooner than expected. 3 months after their merger, alarms blared through Lunar Base Alpha. Sarah's enhanced senses detected the disturbance before the sirens began. Quantum anomaly, Valen's thoughts merged with hers. Similar to swarm scout signatures. Sarah was already moving, their shared consciousness allowing her to process multiple data streams simultaneously. Since their joining, 5 other human axiom partnerships had formed, each bringing unique capabilities to Earth's defense preparations. Dr. Marcus, she called to one of the other partnered humans as she entered the command center. Are you seeing this? Marcus, merged with the axiom Corel, nodded. His eyes held the same crystalline sheen as Sarah's. The energy signature matches historical records. But something's different. Through Valen's knowledge, Sarah analyzed the anomaly. The swarm's usual patterns involved small scout ships testing defensive capabilities. This was larger, more complex. They're adapting, Valen communicated. They've encountered axiom defenses before. This is new methodology. Director Matthews burst into the command center. Talk to me, people. What are we dealing with? Sarah/Valen turned to the display screens, manipulating them with thought alone. The swarm typically sends automated scouts. This is piloted. Intelligent. They're learning. How long until contact? 6 hours, Marcus/Corel responded. They're on an approach vector to Mars. Sarah felt Valen's concern ripple through their shared consciousness. The swarm wasn't supposed to have this level of technological sophistication yet. Their arrival timeline might need revision. We need to test the new defensive systems, Sarah said, accessing Valen's tactical knowledge. This is our chance to gauge their capabilities without revealing our full hand. Matthews nodded. Do it. But remember, we can't let them know about the partnerships yet. That's our ace. The next 6 hours were a blur of preparation. Sarah/Valen coordinated with the other partnerships, each bringing their specialized knowledge to bear. Dr. Patel, merged with the Axiom Yenri, had developed quantum shielding that could theoretically repel swarm weapons. Professor Zhang and his partner Taoul had created advanced sensor arrays that could track swarm movements through subspace. As the scout ship approached Mars, Sarah felt Valen's memories of previous swarm encounters surface. The devastation they'd caused, the civilizations lost. But there was also new hope. Never before had they encountered a species that could successfully merge with the axioms. They're within range, Marcus announced. Initiating defensive protocols. The quantum shields hummed to life around Mars, invisible to normal human perception but blazing like a star to Sarah's enhanced senses. The swarm ship paused, clearly detecting the unexpected resistance. Then it did something unprecedented. Instead of the usual aggressive probe, it transmitted a signal. Sarah felt Valen's shock ripple through their bond. That's impossible, Valen thought. The swarm doesn't communicate. They consume. Yet there it was, a complex transmission directed at Earth. Through their merged consciousness, Sarah began decoding it. What she found chilled her. It's not just a message, she announced. It's a warning. They're telling us to surrender our new allies or face immediate extinction. They know about the axioms. Matthews paled. How? The artifacts, Valen realized. When Sarah discovered them, it must have triggered some kind of beacon. The swarm didn't just detect Earth's technological advancement, they detected axiom technology activating. So much for our ace, Matthews muttered. Options? Sarah/Valen accessed their combined knowledge, running scenarios. We respond. Not Earth, the partnerships. Show them what they're really dealing with. With the other merged pairs agreement, Sarah/Valen composed a reply, drawing on both human determination and axiom wisdom. The message was simple: Earth and the axioms stood together. Any attack would be met with unified resistance. The swarm ship's response was immediate and violent. It launched a quantum torpedo, a weapon that could theoretically bypass conventional defenses. But Sarah and Valen were ready. Together, they activated the new defensive grid. The torpedo hit the quantum shields and dissolved. Direct hit absorbed, Dr. Patel reported, their merged consciousness allowing precise readings. Shield efficiency at 98%. The modifications worked. The swarm ship hung in space for several long moments. Then, without warning, it vanished into subspace. They'll be back, Sarah said, feeling Valen's agreement. And in greater numbers. But now they know we can hurt them. How long? Matthews asked. Months, not years, Valen spoke through Sarah. They'll gather their forces, adapt their weapons. But they've never faced anything like this: human ingenuity, combined with axiom technology. Sarah accessed the defensive systems through their merged consciousness, already seeing dozens of potential improvements. Around her, the other partnerships were doing the same, each focusing on their specialties. We'll be ready, she declared, feeling Valen's confidence merging with her own. The swarm thinks they're facing a simple alliance. They don't understand what we've become. As they began preparations for the coming conflict, Sarah reflected on how much had changed in just 3 months. The merger with Valen had transformed her understanding of not just the universe, but humanity's place in it. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore, they were fighting for evolution itself. The swarm sought to consume. The partnerships represented something new, true symbiosis, the next step in both human and axiom development. And if Sarah/Valen was right, it would be exactly what they needed to face what was coming. Together, Valen's thoughts echoed her own. That's what they fear most. Not our weapons or our shields, but what we represent. Change. Growth. True partnership. Sarah smiled, feeling their shared consciousness pulse with determination. The real test was still to come, but for the first time since learning of the swarm's existence, she felt genuine hope. They would be ready. They had to be. The future of 2 species depended on it. Hidden agendas. Sarah/Valen stood in the secure chamber beneath Lunar Base Alpha, examining the latest discovery. A week after the swarm scouts' retreat, their enhanced senses had detected something buried deep in the lunar regolith, another artifact, but different from those found on Mars. This wasn't left by the axioms, Sarah thought, feeling Valen's agreement. Their merged consciousness analyzed the object's quantum signature. This is swarm technology. But incredibly old, Valen added. Predating their current form by millennia. The artifact was organic mechanical, pulsing with dormant energy. Through their enhanced perception, Sarah could see patterns that would have been invisible to normal human senses. The implications were staggering. The swarm wasn't always what they are now, she realized, accessing Valen's vast historical knowledge. They were like us once, seeking partnerships, not conquest. Director Matthews entered the chamber, accompanied by Dr. Patel and their axiom partner, Yenri. Please tell me you've found something useful, he said. Our long-range sensors show swarm fleet movements. We have months at best. Sarah/Valen interfaced with the artifact, their merged consciousness allowing them to bypass its ancient security measures. Images flooded their shared mind, histories, records, revelations that changed everything they thought they knew. The swarm were the axiom's first attempt at partnership, Sarah announced, her voice carrying both human shock and axiom grief. But something went wrong. Terribly wrong. Through their bond, Valen shared memories that had been locked away, preserved only in the deepest archives. The first partnerships, like the current ones, had been voluntary. But some axioms, impatient for results, had forced the mergers. The result was the birth of the swarm, a horrific fusion of biological and crystalline life, driven mad by the violation. They don't want to stop us, Sarah realized. They want to save us. From their perspective, we're repeating history. Matthews leaned against a console. Are they right? Are we? Sarah felt Valen's presence in her mind, distinct, respectful, a true partner. No, they answered together. The difference is choice. Understanding. True symbiosis. Dr. Patel/Yenri moved closer to the artifact. There's more, isn't there? Their merged consciousness could sense the deeper patterns. Sarah nodded. The swarm wants to prevent more partnerships, yes. But they also want something else. She touched the artifact, interfacing deeper. They want to be whole again. Every consumption, every assimilation, is an attempt to recreate what they lost, true partnership. Can they be helped? Matthews asked. Perhaps, Valen spoke through Sarah. But first we must survive. They won't listen, won't believe we're different, until we prove we can resist them. Through their bond, Sarah accessed more of the artifact's data. The swarm's original consciousness still existed, buried beneath millennia of trauma and transformation. If they could reach it. We need to show them another way, she declared. Not just defend against them, but offer them a path back. The partnerships aren't just humanity's evolution, they could be the swarm's salvation. And if they refuse? Matthews pressed. Sarah felt Valen's determination merge with her own. Then we fight. But we fight to save them, not destroy them. That's what makes us different. The artifact pulsed, responding to their merged consciousness. Through it, Sarah/Valen could sense the approaching swarm fleet. Their numbers were staggering, but now they understood the pain driving them. Prepare the other partnerships, Sarah ordered. We need to modify our defenses. Not just to repel them, but to contain them. To help them. As they worked, Sarah felt Valen's consciousness brush against hers, sharing an ancient axiom concept that translated roughly to healing through understanding. The partnerships weren't just a military advantage, they were proof that true symbiosis was possible. The artifact's glow intensified, interfacing with their merged consciousness. Through it, they could send a message directly to the swarm's buried original consciousness. Not a warning or a threat, but an offer of redemption. We are what you were meant to be, Sarah/Valen composed the message. What you can be again. Not through force, but through choice. As the message transmitted through subspace, Sarah felt ripples of response. Confusion. Anger. But underneath, something else, hope. They're listening, she whispered. Part of them remembers. The war ahead would be fought not just with weapons and shields, but with truth and understanding. The partnerships would have to be both sword and healing hand, fighting to defend while offering salvation. Sarah/Valen looked at the artifact, now fully integrated with their defensive systems. The knowledge it contained would help them face what was coming. But more importantly, it would help them offer the swarm a way back from their ancient trauma. We'll be ready, they declared, their merged consciousness radiating determination. Not just to fight, but to heal. The true test wasn't just survival anymore. It was redemption for both the partnerships and their ancient, twisted predecessors. The future would be forged not in conquest or consumption, but in understanding and choice. The swarm was coming. But now, finally, they knew how to reach them. Breaking protocol. The swarm fleet arrived earlier than expected. Sarah/Valen detected their quantum signatures 3 months after discovering the lunar artifact. Hundreds of ships, each larger than anything Earth had encountered before. But they were ready. Defense grid online, Dr. Marcus announced from his station. Quantum shields at maximum capacity. Sarah felt Valen's consciousness merge more deeply with hers as they coordinated Earth's response. In the months since finding the artifact, they'd prepared extensively. The other partnerships had developed new technologies, combining human innovation with axiom wisdom. They're broadcasting, Dr. Patel reported. The message came through clear and distorted simultaneously. Cease this abomination. Surrender the crystals. Be spared. Show them, Sarah commanded. At her word, every partnered human activated their enhanced capabilities. Their merged consciousness created a network, linking minds and technologies in ways the swarm couldn't predict. The first wave of swarm ships launched their attack. Quantum torpedoes, designed to tear reality itself, screamed toward Earth. But the partnerships were ready. Their combined consciousness created defensive patterns that didn't just block the attacks, they transformed them. Now, Sarah/Valen directed. The lunar artifact, integrated into their systems, pulsed with ancient power. Each blocked torpedo released energy that their merged consciousness shaped into a message, reaching for the buried original awareness within the swarm. We understand your pain. We offer healing, not destruction. The swarm's response was chaos. Some ships pulled back, their ancient consciousness responding to the call. Others pressed the attack with increased fury, as if desperate to drown out the message. They're fighting themselves, Sarah realized through their merged perception. The original consciousness is awakening. But the battle was far from over. A massive swarm vessel, different from the others, emerged from subspace. Its quantum signature was unique, pure, closer to the original pattern. Their leader, Valen recognized. One of the first. One who remembers. The vessel broadcasted directly to Sarah/Valen, bypassing normal communications. Through their merged consciousness, they perceived not just words, but memories, emotions, ancient pain. You cannot understand. The violation. The breaking. We protect. Sarah/Valen responded not with words, but with experience. They shared the truth of their partnership, the respect, the choice, the growth. Through the lunar artifacts connection, they offered not just understanding, but proof. Look, they transmitted. See what partnership truly means. What it was always meant to be. The swarm leader's response shook space itself. Its ship transformed, revealing a form that was neither biological nor crystalline, but something ancient and wounded. Sarah felt Valen's grief at seeing what their kind's ancient mistake had created. Then, using protocols hidden in the lunar artifact, they did something unprecedented. Sarah/Valen opened their merged consciousness fully, inviting the swarm leader to experience their partnership directly. Trust goes both ways, Sarah whispered as their minds connected. The contact was overwhelming. Millennia of pain, rage, and loss flooded their shared consciousness. But beneath it all, they found what they sought, the original being, the first partner, twisted but not destroyed. Through their connection, healing began. The swarm leader's consciousness, trapped for eons in its corrupted form, remembered what true partnership felt like. The difference between violation and choice. Between consumption and communion. The effect rippled through the swarm fleet. Ships began standing down as their hybrid consciousness responded to their leader's transformation. Not all, some were too far gone, too corrupted by ages of pain. These fought with increased desperation. Contain them, Sarah/Valen commanded. But do not destroy. They can be reached, given time. The battle shifted from destruction to preservation. Earth's defenses, guided by the partnerships, created quantum fields that isolated the resistant swarm ships. Within these fields, the lunar artifact's energy could work slowly, helping their twisted consciousness remember its original form. As the crisis peaked, Sarah felt something extraordinary through their merged awareness. The swarm leader, through their shared connection, began to change. Its form shifted, crystal and flesh separating, remembering how to exist in harmony rather than corruption. It's working, Valen's thoughts merged with hers. They're remembering who they were. The transformation spread through the fleet like a wave of light. Ships that had been weapons of consumption became something new, or rather, something very old. The original partnerships, hidden beneath eons of pain, began to re-emerge. Not all could be saved. Some swarm ships, too damaged to recover, fled into deep space. But the majority remained, their ancient consciousness awakening to new possibilities. Welcome back, Sarah/Valen transmitted to the transformed fleet. Welcome home. The response came not in words, but in shared understanding. The swarm leader, now a being of both flesh and crystal like the original partnerships, shared its true name, first to choose. They had done more than win a battle. They had healed an ancient wound, offering redemption where there had only been endless consumption. The war was over. The real work, healing, rebuilding, remembering, was just beginning. Evolution. 1 year after the swarm's transformation, Sarah/Valen stood in Earth's new interspecies council chamber. The room hummed with merged consciousness, human axiom partnerships alongside rehabilitated swarm beings, all working toward a shared future. First to choose, now a bridge between old and new, addressed the assembly, we gather to mark not victory, but evolution. What was broken has begun to heal. The past year had brought unprecedented changes. The restored swarm ships, their consciousness recovered, shared technologies and knowledge from countless civilizations. Not stolen memories, but freely given wisdom from species they'd encountered before their corruption. Sarah felt Valen's satisfaction through their bond. We've come further than we dreamed, they thought together. Earth had become a beacon, proof that different species could merge without losing themselves. The partnerships had expanded, each unique, each voluntary. Humanity's adaptability, combined with axiom wisdom, created possibilities neither species had imagined alone. The real challenge begins now, Sarah announced to the council. Not just maintaining what we've built, but growing beyond it. Evolution doesn't stop. Through their merged consciousness, they shared recent discoveries. The lunar artifact had been just the first key. Others waited throughout the galaxy, left by ancient partnerships, before the first corruption. Each held pieces of knowledge, power, and responsibility. We propose an expedition, Sarah/Valen continued. Not just to find these artifacts, but to offer what we've learned to other species. The galaxy is full of potential partners, waiting to evolve. First to choose form shifted, crystal and flesh flowing in harmony. You would trust us to help? After what we were? Because of what you were, Sarah responded. You understand better than anyone the difference between forced merger and true partnership. Your experience makes you the perfect teachers. The council chamber resonated with merged consciousness as partnerships and restored beings considered the proposal. Through their shared awareness, they could sense the possibilities and the risks. There will be resistance, Dr. Patel/Yenri warned. Not every species will welcome change. Some may fear us as much as they once feared the swarm. Then we show them, Sarah/Valen declared. Not through force, but through example. We offer, we don't impose. That's what makes us different. The merged consciousness of the council pulsed with agreement. Teams were formed, exploration groups combining human ingenuity, axiom wisdom, and restored swarm knowledge. Each would seek out both artifacts and potential partners. As the plans took shape, Sarah felt something new through her bond with Valen, a sense of completion neither had expected. Their partnership, once an experiment in survival, had become a template for universal evolution. We've only glimpsed the beginning, Valen shared through their connection. Each new partnership brings new possibilities, new ways of being. The council session ended with a ceremony that would have been impossible a year ago. Human, axiom, and restored swarm consciousness merged briefly in a moment of shared understanding. Not forced, not permanent, but freely chosen and freely released. Later, at the observation deck where everything had begun, Sarah/Valen watched ships launching, the first expedition teams heading into deep space. Each carried the promise of their success, the proof that different species could become something greater together without losing themselves. We never imagined this, Sarah thought, feeling Valen's agreement. When we first merged, it was about survival. Now it's about transcendence. Through their enhanced senses, they could perceive the quantum fields linking Earth to the transformed swarm fleet in orbit. Not weapons anymore, but bridges between consciousness. Each partnership, each restoration, strengthened the network of understanding they were building. First to choose joined them, its form a beautiful harmony of crystal and flesh. The cycle breaks, it said. What was consumed now grows. What was taken now is given. Sarah/Valen sensed the truth in those words. The galaxy was changing, consciousness by consciousness, partnership by partnership. Evolution wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about choice, growth, and infinite possibility. The artifacts wait, Sarah said, feeling Valen's excitement merge with her own. And with them, new understandings, new potentials. And new challenges, first to choose added. Not all powers should be awakened. We learned this at great cost. Then we face them together, Sarah/Valen responded. Not as separate species, not as forced mergings, but as willing partners. Each bringing our strengths, our wisdom, our choice to bond and learn and grow. As the sun rose over Earth's horizon, they felt the future unfold through their merged consciousness, infinite paths, infinite possibilities, all born from that first choice to trust, to join, to become something new while remaining true to themselves. The human age of isolation was ending. The axiom age of observation was over. Even the swarm's age of consumption had transformed. Something new was beginning, an age of willing partnership, of chosen evolution, of consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of single species. And it had all started with a simple choice: to trust, to merge, to become more together than they ever could be alone. The next great adventure was just beginning.